Yo, 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 what up? What up? What's going on, people? Random, very random. I already know, you know what I'm saying? Came on here late, very late. It is damn, 1:30 in the morning. Um, and I decided to do this live. The reason is because I'm not going to sleep anytime soon. I'm actually gonna be up all night, flying out in the morning. I like to sleep on the plane. So I decided, you know what, man, let me come on here and talk to my people, man. I probably should have planned this a little bit better. But we got a lot to talk about, man. Can't hear me? Y'all can't hear me? Let me see something real quick. Yo, yo, yo. Can you hear me, Randy? Talk to me. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, all right. So we got my man Randy Willard in here. Listen, there's only 9 people in here right now, so we need to build this up. Let's see who comes in here. I know, like I said, it was it was very very random, very random for me to come on here. But hey, man, I'm gonna talk to whoever's in here, man. Listen, what do you guys think about this Tyrone Woodley Jake Paul fight? Like, I really need to know, man. I really need to know what you guys are thinking. This is a very, very hard fight for me to predict. I have to be honest, man, because I really don't know what to expect from either guy. I don't know what to expect from Tyrone Woodley, and I don't know what to expect from Jake Paul. I mean, we've seen Jake Paul look good in the past against guys who don't know how to box, right? But he's a strong kid. He's taking he's taking this guy pretty serious. Um, he's taking boxing pretty serious. He's got a team with him. He's sparring professionals. He's obviously working out. He's focused. He's probably, nutrition is dialed in. Uh, Jake Paul is pretty serious right now about this boxing thing. We saw his brother look, relatively good against Floyd Mayweather, able to go the whole 12 or 8, whatever it was, 8 rounds. Um, and now you're fighting Tyrone Woodley, who was a professional UFC fighter, but was never a boxer. But he does have some hands. He has some nice highlight reels. He's knocked out some people. He has a lot of combat experience. So he knows what it's like for the build up for a fight. He understands what it's like to fight at the highest level of fighting. But again, this is still a different thing. Boxing is still a different thing. He's the smaller guy. Pause. Right? He's a smaller man, and I'm just very interested. Like, I really don't know what to think about this. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people aren't excited about this who are diehards, but you can't deny that this is an intriguing fight. This is very intriguing. Because if Jake Paul wins, even though a lot of people in the boxing community won't be surprised if Jake Paul wins, because there's a lot of boxing people who I know, who I respect, that are actually picking Jake Paul. But if if Jake Paul wins, I think a lot of people are going to start to really pay attention now. Like, okay, so he beat another UFC guy. Now, obviously, the first guy that he fought, Ben Askren or whatever his last name was, wasn't a striker. He didn't look in shape. He didn't look like he came to fight. He looked like he just whatever. But nevertheless, he's a professional fighter. Now he's fighting another professional fighter who's at the tail end of his career, right? But he's really talking that talk that he's gonna knock Jake Paul out, that he's gonna beat Jake Paul. He's focused, he's zeroed in. I think he would be very embarrassed if he lost to Jake Paul. So I think that's enough motivation to make him really want to train. So let's go ahead and let's see what the people are saying in here. Um I would like to really know. I would like to really know what you guys are thinking, man. First of all, my man AB Madrid said, "What's good, coach? What's going on, champ?" Loyal 610 tapping in from Houston. My guy, what's good, my brother? We got Garrett Groover in here. Oh, I thought he was talking real boxing. Listen, man, it's a fight, man. You know what I'm saying? We have to take what we can get right now, right? We gotta entertain whatever's going on. I think Jake thinks sparring is fighting. He's never been in a real boxing match. I agree. He's never been in a real boxing match, but he has been training and he has been sparring professional fighters and he has a professional boxing team with him. And he's an athlete and he's strong and he's bigger and he's strong, he's taller. He has a lot of things on his side. My heart is saying Woodley, but shit, anything can happen. Absolutely. Anything can happen, man. Sean Breezy, what's good? What's going on, champ? Shamari, God bless you, coach. Thank you for the live podcast. No problem, brother. Listen, late night, I thank you guys for even being in here. I didn't plan this, very random, a pop up. Every once in a while, this pop up out of nowhere. I got to do a better job at scheduling these things. I'm actually going to Florida, and then from Florida, I'm flying out to Puerto Rico, so I'm going to be gone for a little bit. So I decided, let me come on here, do some Q&A. We're going to do some Q&A also, because I would like to, get some things, answer some questions while I have a chance before I'm gone for, a week or two or whatever it is that I'm going to be gone. But I still want to talk about this fight. Coach, are you fighting Chad Ochocinco? Listen, man, right now, it's not on my mind. That thing to me is like swept under the rug at this point. Big shout out to Ochocinco. Not a hard guy to get a hold of, though. So, I'm here. I'm here, and I'll just leave it at that. All love to Paul versus Woodley, but I want to see you mix it up with that fool. We'll see what happens, man. You know what I mean? We'll see what happens. But right now, I need to know what you guys think about this fight. What's up, Coach? Tyrone should win this. He's a champion and a warrior. What you think? Honestly, I don't know what to think. This is one of the hardest fights for me to predict because I don't know what to expect from either guy. I don't know what to expect from Woodley. I've never seen Woodley in a pure boxing situation, and I've never seen Jake Paul fight a real fighter, so I don't know what to expect. You know what I mean? Woodley is more of a Muay Thai fighter, trains with rough as well. Muay Thai fighters strike. So if you're a good Muay Thai fighter, you know what I mean? You know how to throw your jab, your cross, your hook, your uppercut. You know what I mean? You can be somewhat effective. Do you think they'll pay Woodley to lay down? Man, who knows, man? I mean, I've never heard or known anybody personally that's ever taken a dive in boxing. You know what I'm saying? You hear rumors and you hear conspiracy theory. You hear about things back in the day with the mafia and all that type of stuff, but I don't know. I can't say yes to that. I have no idea. You know what I mean? I just don't think that a guy like Woodley will want to lose this fight. But hey, man, you never know what's going on behind the scenes, right? I mean, but I doubt it. Jake sounds like it's all a game, but Woodley taking this boxing game serious. Well, we'll see. We'll see how serious he is. We got 2 days. California Chief, what up, Coach? What up, my guy? How you doing, man? G Funk, what's up, Coach? Big love for New Zealand. Big love to big love to New Zealand as well, man. Big shout out to you guys over there, man. Never been to New Zealand. How's the pandemic holding up over there? Over here it's getting weird, man. I walked inside the store, man, and I seen it's starting to look like we going backwards, man. So I don't know, man. How's everything in New Zealand though? Coach, if you was to sports bet, who you putting your money on, Paul or Woodley? I'll probably put my money on Paul. Honestly, he might be the underdog. Not sure if he's the underdog, but I think he might be. Might put my money on the underdog in this fight. I feel like Woodley is gonna lose on purpose, man. I hope not, because he's been talking heavy. He's been talking heavy. I follow him on Instagram, and he's been talking heavy. So I would hate to see him lose on purpose. I want to see him go out like a fighter. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We are in lockdown now for 2 more weeks. Damn. So y'all on lockdown. You see what I mean, man? Not good. Not good, man. We got to be prepared, guys. You know what I mean? I'm not no expert when it comes to this subject, man. We got to be prepared, though. It seems like these lockdowns are coming, man. I'm not excited about it at all, but what can you do? Yo, Coach Anthony, thanks for your videos. The boxing gym I went to, the coach wouldn't help me. Um, Sorry to hear that. That's why I got a channel like this, because I know how difficult it is to get real boxing information. You got to understand, before I became a boxing coach, I spent a lot of years in the boxing gym. You know what I mean? From 16 years old to about 28 years old, man. I probably went to a boxing gym almost every single day. Even when I wasn't competing, I was in a boxing gym, sparring professionals, training, and I know what it's like to want to learn this game and have somebody take you serious and they overlook you because they feel like, what's the purpose, right? You're not a pro, you're not fighting. If you're not paying extra money for one-on-one attention, it's like, what's the point? So I understand that, and that's the reason I made my YouTube channel, and I do stuff like this to try to help you guys along your journey. I sell the courses, and the courses are so informative because basically I'm giving you guys so much information in the courses that literally, if you was to do personal, let's just say you hired me for personal training, right? And you paid, let's just say, a going rate of $100 an hour, and I trained you for an hour, taught you what I could teach you. There's only so much you can learn in an hour. But a course costs literally the same thing as one session. Well, actually less, because I charge more than 100 an hour nowadays. But one session, and you're getting fucking like, oh, I cursed. Whoosh. But you're getting like 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 courses. Sessions in one course, because what's happening is I'm teaching it all to you. You know what I mean? Teaching it all to you now is about drilling everything. It's about consistently doing everything. And that's what takes the time. But the information is there. We're constantly just giving info, giving info, giving info, giving info, giving info. So the courses, the YouTube channel, and it's going to take a lot of hard work from you guys, man. So boxing is repetition, 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 man. You know what I mean? Don't forget that. You know what I mean? So you just got to consistently do repetition. Um, so, you know, big shout out to you, man. Coach, how do I easily roll to both sides? I feel uncomfortable going to the right orthodox stance. How do I easily roll to both sides? So if you're talking about rolling under, it's just a letter U, right? I'm just doing a letter U, right? So someone throws a right hand at me, whether if it's a looping right hand, especially, I roll under it. Somebody throws a left hook at me, I roll under it. So it's just you're doing a letter U, a letter U, U. And then what happens is you're in position to fire back, right? I roll back in position to fire the other hand. So the easiest way to do it is make sure you have a good stance, a good solid foundation on the U, and then you just do the letter U with your waist. It's going to be a little slight bend at the knees as you roll under with your waist. You know what I mean? You don't want to bend forward. You don't want your upper body over your knee, right? You just want to bend your knees in your good boxing stance. A nice letter U. That's how you would do that. Little off topic, coach, but what you think about Caleb Plant versus Canelo? Don't know much about Caleb Plant. Some. I'm curious, what do you think he brings to the table against a fighter like Canelo? What he brings to the table is that he's mobile. What he brings to the table is that he has a good jab. You know what I'm saying? He has good defense. He's not going to stand in front of Canelo. He throws good combinations. He's slick. My question is, how does he do at this level? My question is, how does he take the power that Canelo is going to hit him with? My thing is, can he keep Canelo off with his punching power? These are the questions that we're going to find out that are going to get answered. But skill for skill, Caleb Plant is a very technical fighter, very skilled, and he has a very good skill set and style to frustrate Canelo, without a doubt. It's just what happens when he gets hit. What happens when he realizes there's levels? Canelo has already fought Mayweather, Triple G, Aries Larry Lara. I can't even say his name. Jacobs. Many guys. You know what I'm saying? Kovalev. Canelo's already been tested, battle tested, battle tested, battle tested. Caleb Plant, not so battle tested. So that's the issue that I'm having with Caleb Plant. Don't know how he's gonna do, but you got to start somewhere, right? You have to be given an opportunity in order to show how good you can be. So we'll see what happens, man. But it's gonna be a very interesting fight, without a doubt. Also, thank you, man. You taught me how to punch at your channel. Thank you for showing love. Thank you for watching the channel. And you know what I mean? And like always, man, I didn't promote this earlier, but like always, you already know, you use the discount code CA Power Hour 60, you're getting 60% off all the courses. Actually, I believe it's 63% off. I had made an error. So it's actually 63% off, I believe, with that right there. I should probably fix that right there. Hold on. I seen somebody get 63% off, and I was like, damn, man, I ain't even, you know what I'm saying? Promote 63% off. But yeah, man, 63% off. Uh so go ahead and check out a course, man. I guarantee that you're gonna be happy, man. I guarantee it. Let's see here. Your course is like Garrett Groover, funny guy. Do you think Gervonta Davis is gonna pick Teofimo Lopez for his next fight? Man, you know what? I don't think so. I highly doubt it, man. I do not think so. I think they're going to continue to move Gervonta Davis very strategically. He's going to keep on beating up the guys that he's been beating up on. And eventually down the line, we'll get a super fight out of Gervonta Davis. But they're not going to put Gervonta Davis in there right away with these guys. Don't ask me why. He's capable. I guess they're just trying to build, 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 build. I can't see him fighting Teofimo next, though. I'll be very surprised. Randy Willard. I have my keys to victory for Woodley versus Paul. Go ahead, man. Text the keys to victory. Let me know. It's Tyrone, not Tyrone, brother. Okay, thank you, man. Yeah, I didn't even know that, man. I'm gonna have to fix that. But yo, big shout out to these guys, man. Big shout out to these guys. It's gonna be very fun, man. It's gonna be a very fun fight, and it's on a Sunday, which is cool because typically there's not much to do on a Sunday, right? So at least this Sunday we know that we got something to watch, right? You know what I'm saying? I don't know how many of you guys are gonna actually watch the fight, but we definitely got something to watch. So we'll see what happens, man. You know what I mean? But keep the questions coming in. I'm gonna be on here for a little while, and don't forget to go to the website, check out the courses. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you're sharing the channel. You know what I mean? Make sure you subscribe to the email list. I got the newsletter out. And the newsletter, we're giving out a bunch of free tips, a bunch of free information through email. So if you go ahead and sign up for the newsletter, you'll go ahead and you'll get just a bunch of free tips and free information. You know what I'm saying? So my man David Perry said, "Who do you got winning the fight, man? I don't know. I gotta be honest, man. I don't know. I'm leaning. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, it'd be very. Listen, I would. I don't know. I just can't. I can't see it either way. I can't see it in my head, man. Let's see what Randy Willard has to say. He seems to know. Woodley has to put together combinations. We haven't seen Jake Paul defense up to this point. Woodley has to keep it close, create angles, and allow him to stay on Paul, work the body, and use his defense to take Paul in the later rounds. Okay, that's a good assessment. Shorter guy. You want to get close to the taller guy. You definitely want to attack the body, working angles. There's always a good way to test the guy's boxing defense and IQ. So, all good stuff there, Randy. All good stuff. Did you see the Pac-Man Jones fight? The Adam Pac-Man Jones fight? Any thoughts? I did not Chief, I did not. When was that fight? Because I did not see it. I'm not even sure who Adam Pac-Man is, or which one. What's his name? Adam Pac-Man, and then versus Jones. I don't even know who these guys are, man. Yo, I'm becoming a guy that doesn't know all the hot fighters right now. I'm becoming like when you know when you guys used to watch like Mayweather, when ES News or somebody would ask him a question and he wouldn't know who the guys are. I'm becoming one of those guys. So I'm gonna have to start really paying attention and watching a lot of these guys, man. I've just been caught up. I just been caught up in a lot of stuff, you know what I mean, and haven't been paying attention to these guys. Yo, coach, what are your thoughts on the last Guillermo? I can't say this dude's name. All right, Rigondeaux. I know who Rigondeaux is. The Rigondeaux fight. I thought Rigondeaux better footwork, but took no punishment. I'm gonna be honest, man. With the Rigondeaux fight, um, man, that was hard to fight, man. That was brutal, man. That was a brutal, brutal fight. You have to really be a Rigondeaux fan to have enjoyed that fight. Now, Rigondeaux, um, he did what he was supposed to do for himself. You know, that's how he felt he needed to perform in order to leave the ring safely. I can't be mad at him. But it was brutal to watch. And it was brutal on both ends because the other guy, he couldn't cut off the ring for anything. You had one guy that was using excessive footwork, and you had another guy who didn't know how to cut off the ring. And it just was a match that was not entertaining to watch. And I'm a boxing purist. But man, that was so brutal to watch, man. You know what I mean? I was like, oh my God, like this fight right here, like neither one of these guys are doing much. Now, from a defensive standpoint, Rigondeaux had some good footwork. He was rolling under shots. Whenever he got caught onto the ropes, he'd roll under, slide right, slide left. Did a lot of things that he was supposed to do on a stay in survival type. But as far as being like super effective or entertaining or even looking remotely like anybody I would want to train to fight that way was not too entertaining to me, man. I really didn't enjoy it, to be honest with you. Lomachenko broke Rigondeaux. Yeah, I think when he fought Lomachenko, that was really like when everything changed. And I remember a lot of people thought that Rigondeaux was gonna beat Loma. I didn't realize how much bigger Loma was than Lomachenko. I mean, Rigondeaux at that time. So at that time, I thought Rigondeaux was gonna do much better. When I seen them in the ring against each other, I was like, oh snap! Like this dude's a lot bigger than him. Um, so I think size, pause, made a big difference in that fight. You know what I mean? I think that was a big issue. But other than that, you know what I mean? You know, Rigondeaux definitely hasn't been the same. I think Rigondeaux has aged. You know what I mean? So he's also not a spring chicken no more. He can't do a lot of the things he used to do. But there was a time when Rigondeaux first hopped on the scene that it was like, wow, who is this guy? You know, but he's no longer that guy. Now he's just kind of just dragging it out and trying to get what he can get, and based off of his boxing IQ, he's able to survive. And I notice that's what happens to a lot of older fighters. They no longer are dominant. They just figure out better ways to survive, veteran tricks, veteran moves in order to survive. I'm not the only one who thinks his name is Tyrone. You see Tyrone right here? I'm not the only guy. Tyrone's biggest weakness is constantly backs up in MMA. For the first time, he can't do that. And he no longer has takedown threats. Tyrone has no boxing and doesn't know how to throw combinations either in MMA. Now, I don't know if he has no boxing because I've been watching him hit the mitts. I've been watching him train. Um, he seems to know how to throw his punches pretty nice. But hitting the mitts and hitting the bags and shadow boxing, it's definitely not boxing, right? I can take damn near anybody, and if they have any kind of experience, I could make them look fantastic on the mitts. That doesn't mean necessarily that they're good fighters. Tyrone obviously is a good striker for MMA, but it's a totally different thing when you're just boxing. Boxing, you have nowhere to hide, right? The difference between boxing striking and MMA striking, exactly what you said. You can't take down a guy. You can't kick a guy. You can't, choke a guy out. You can't do these things that you would typically do. But in boxing, it's if you ain't good with the hands, you're basically a dead man. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're either gonna get knocked out or you're gonna have to quit or you have to, get your beat down. You know what I mean? So the only thing is he's fighting a guy that we don't know how he would perform against a higher level fighter either. Jake Paul, even though he looked strong and good against his last opponents, I mean, who did he fight? No boxers, no real, talented fighters like with their hands. So we're gonna find out a lot about Jake Paul against Woodley. If he goes in there and completely dismantles Woodley, then we're gonna have to start taking Jake Paul a little bit more serious when he starts to call out, other guys because he obviously has been putting in the time for boxing. And, based off what I've seen, he understands how to throw his punches. He understands distance. He understands certain things. And like anything, you need to improve. Excuse me. Like anything, you need to improve over time. And he's kind of learning on the job. But hey, man, anything's possible. If you really want something, you know what I'm saying? Listen, remember when Drake first became a rapper? Nobody thought Drake was going to be one of the hottest rappers. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't like Drake right now, you can't deny his career. And the thing is, he came from a Nickelodeon background. So it was very difficult for us to respect Drake in the beginning. But now you got people saying he's one of the best that ever did it. And it's like, whoa, like I remember this guy was on Nickelodeon. Now you got a boxer who basically comes from the same kind of background, Nickelodeon, and now it's very difficult for everybody to take him serious. But what if he's dead serious and he just keeps on putting in time, putting in work? He's a human being. Any of you guys take anything serious, you could be anything you want to be in life. You have to remember that. So we can't completely rule him out just because he's a YouTuber, just because he's a former Nickelodeon star. He is still a person putting in the effort, putting in the time. So we'll see how he does. If he does well, his next fight is going to be more interesting because now we're going to start really paying attention even more, even though we're paying attention now. Ugas Crawford next. To unify Ugas match, what would you rather see in that welterweight division? Yeah, in that welterweight division, I would like to see you guys. I would like to see you guys fight Crawford only because you guys obviously probably isn't going to be able to fight Spence due to the fact that Spence is I. But if Spence is healthy, I think you guys and Spence is the fight that needs to be made because Spence was supposed to fight Pacquiao. So now that you guys beat Pacquiao, let's go ahead and put Spence and you guys together. And I think that makes for an interesting fight. You got one guy who comes forward, throws a lot of jabs, puts punches together, and another guy who's very methodical, good high guard, good sharp punches, battle tested in you guys as well. Very interesting fight. That fight can go either way. I think that's a very good fight. You guys versus Spence is the fight I would probably prefer to see. And then the winner of that maybe can get a fight with Crawford. Or maybe in the meantime, while that's happening, Crawford could fight somebody like Keith Thurman or somebody. You know what I'm saying? How do you think Manny Pacquiao would have performed against Errol Spence Jr.? I don't think he would have performed well at all. I thought he was going to do a lot better over the weekend. I did not like how he looked. I didn't like his footwork. I didn't like the way his punches was coming out. I didn't like his defense. I didn't like much about what I saw from Manny Pacquiao, other than the fact that he has heart and he was really trying. But it's definitely not the Manny Pacquiao that I remember, and it's not a Manny Pacquiao I want to see fight in any top level competition. I don't want to see Manny Pacquiao end his career on a stretcher because he just can't let go of the sport and he wants to fight the best of the best. He's already the best of the best, and he needs to just walk away to the sunset. You know what I mean? Call it a day. Coach, off topic, but I'm curious, will you be adding any more tutorial videos on the website in the future? Yes, I am. Sorry for the delay on more new stuff. That was my most recent one, and That one is very, very good. Basically teaching you how to box a southpaw, or if you're a southpaw, how to deal with an orthodox fighter. That's one of my favorite ones. Principles 101 and the Philly shell system and the angles and how to create them and how to set traps and counter punch. Like those are all my favorite ones. The footwork one is very beginnerish. I want to make a new one of those, and then I want to also do a beginner one for my beginners who don't know where to begin, and some other stuff. I got a whole lineup. So I apologize about that, but the stuff that I got on there right now is still solid, right? And I got the sale going on right now. CA Power Hour 60. Make sure that you jump on that, guys. Make sure you jump on that. Get 60% off. I actually believe it's 63% off. So you might be getting more than 60% off. And that's for being on this live with me right now at freaking 2 in the morning Eastern time, right? 11. I guess it's like 10 or 11 or 12 over there in the West Coast. But yeah, so just for rock with me, you get 60% off. I also got a 50% off sale, CA Summer 50. So if you missed this power hour, you can always still get 50% off. But if you want 60% off, act now and get that while this is live. I want to see Eddie Chambers versus Paul. Man, my man Eddie Chambers, man, he'll play with Paul. Messed up thing is Eddie won't even knock Paul out. He'll let him go the distance. You know what I'm saying? If Eddie did knock out Paul, Eddie would knock out Paul by accident, which I've seen him do. I've seen Eddie knock out people in the gym by accident, literally. He did not mean to do it, and he did it. So, and then afterwards, he feels all bad about it. You know what I mean? Eddie Chambers, man, one of the nicest guys boxing's ever going to have. CA Late Night, nice surprise. Thank you, man. Um, you know, like I said, I'm gonna be up 2 in the morning. I got a flight early this morning. I like to sleep on the plane. That's what I do. I sleep on the plane. I go on the plane, it's over. You know what I'm saying? So, staying up, gotta be at the airport at 6 in the morning. Plane flies out at 8:30. Be in Florida. I'll be out there for a minute. Like I said, from there we headed out to Puerto Rico. And then we'll be back here on the East Coast, and we're gonna get right back to work, man. This is gonna be probably the last little summer hurrah, and then it's grind time. So when it comes to courses, when it comes to videos and all that stuff, believe me, we right back. We're going hard. Yo, coach, are you looking forward to Usyk versus Joshua on September 25th? Yeah, that's a good fight. Go either way. I like Joshua. I like the height. I like the distance. Not a big fan of Usyk. Don't think Usyk's as good as people make him out to be. But he is a southpaw. He's slick, undefeated, good boxer. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that Usyk is gonna present some issues, but I'm picking Anthony Joshua in that fight. Coach 100 on Pacquiao. That's a fact, man. We don't want to see Pacquiao get hurt, man. He gave us too much. We done seen him get hurt already. You know what I mean? He done gave us too much, man. See Mike Crack, good vids. Thank you, champ. Coach, if Paul wins, who you want to see him box next? I don't know. I right now, when it comes to this guy, man, it's like whatever. Like whatever you throw in front of him, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? He'll probably fight a couple more UFC guys. You know what I mean? Because they're fighters and they got names and they got good followings and they're still beatable in the boxing ring. So he'll probably attack more UFC guys. Sean Breezy, how should I move my head after I punch it? It just depends, man. You know what I mean? After you throw a left hook, you might roll under. After you throw a left hook, you might slip over. After I throw a 1-2, I might roll under. You know what I mean? So you're either gonna roll or you're gonna slip. You know what I'm saying? After you throw the punch, you know what I mean? Typically, you're gonna roll most of the time. Like if I throw a 1-2, bang bang, I'm gonna roll most of the time. I'm not gonna go 1-2 slip because I could slip into a punch. So I might go 1-2 roll. Right? If I throw a 1-2-3, I might go 1-2-3 roll the other way, or I may go 1-2-3 slip over so I could rip a left hook to the body, a left hook to the head. So, you're either gonna roll or you're gonna slip, you know what I'm saying? Bang, bang, and then you might double roll. You might give me a little side to side, even though that's risky. You know what I'm saying? You might give me some frame action, you know what I'm saying, where you know what I'm saying? I might just add some stuff, slight pulls as I'm going over. So it just depends. But yeah, the key is when you finish with the right hand, typically roll to your right. Finish with the left hand, typically move to your left. Now, there is going to be times like if I throw a left hook, I might drop down to my right, or I might throw a right hand and slip over, slide out to my left. Getting a little bit more technical now, but the key is you want to move your hands, move your head, move your feet. Move your hands, move your head, move your feet to either go right or left. But it can also go the other way, right? We could move our head, move our hands, move our feet. We can move our feet and our head and then move our hands. It all depends, you know what I mean? But it's basically it, man. Not too complicated. The key is you don't want to be in the same spot when you're done punching because the punches are coming back. And if you are going to be in the same spot, you want to block. You want to block. You want to be ready to catch, or you know what I'm saying? So you got to be defensively aware. Thank you, coach. You are welcome, champ. Why don't you fight Paul if you ain't fighting Ochocinco? Listen, man, right now fighting Paul is like the lottery. So anybody in their right mind right now would want to fight Paul, you know what I'm saying, for the money they're getting. So yeah, put me on that list. Keep them questions coming, guys. Keep them questions coming. Use discount code CA Power 60, man. Get 60% off. I believe it's 63% off of all courses, guys. Don't forget, check out the courses, man. You're not gonna regret it, man. 100% guaranteed. You're gonna love it. My man, Fly One LBC, been watching your videos, coach. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. We got a lot coming up. We got a lot coming up in the future, man. So, you know, just be ready, man. Stay tuned, man. I was talking to Eddie. We're gonna work on something. I got some other stuff coming. Uh, it's gonna keep on mixing it up, man. I'm gonna take this to the next level. So consider this little calm before the storm because we're gonna come hard. Pause. Fury versus Wilder. Delay of any advantages for the fighters or just yo, what's going on with that fight, man? Who has the updates with this? I'm hearing like I don't know what's going on with Fury and Wilder right now, man. I'm like lost. There's a lot going on, man. I'm like lost what's going on with that right now. Who has details on that? Would you train MMA? No, not what it is. I would train an MMA fighter. I'm not doing any kind of combat training anymore at this point in my life. You know what I mean? At this point, I'm just teaching. If I do go to the gym, it's just physical training. But MMA's never been my interest. I've always been a pugilist. I just love the art of hitting and not getting hit. You know what I mean? Boxing is really my thing. I like to, punch people. I'm not a big fan of grabbing people. Not athletic enough to throw spinning kicks and leg kicks and stuff. Even though kicking has always been somewhat intriguing to me. For me, boxing, I'm a pure boxer. I love boxing. You know what I'm saying? I respect fighting. I respect martial arts, but boxing is just like I purely just love boxing. You know what I'm saying? That's probably as far as it goes for me. But I've worked with MMA fighters in the past. I worked with King Mo. When I worked with King Mo, he would have me work with all his friends that were in the UFC. I don't work with some of the best UFC fighters. I didn't even know who they were. It's crazy. Like I was working with UFC fighters, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know who they were. You know what I mean? I got pictures back there with a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? Didn't even know who they were. He'd be like, yo, Big Mo, be like, yo, you want to work with him? You want to work with Thiago Alves? You want to work with this guy, this guy, this guy? I'm working with these guys. I'm just like, yeah, no problem. Blah, 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 teaching them stuff. And these freaking guys are the best UFC fighters in the world. But when it came to boxing, their boxing was subpar. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. Who you got, Tank versus Tio? That's a good question, man. That's a good one, man. I like Teofimo Lopez, I think, maybe, because Teofimo's got more height, a little bit more size. He knows how to box from the outside. But Tank at the same time is a dog. He's a killer, but so is Tio. Man, I don't know, man. That's a good, very good fight. If they were to fight, I'm probably going to lean toward Teofimo Lopez. CA Boxing, best boxing coach around. Thank you very much, Lance. I appreciate the love, man. I'm just out here trying to teach real boxing. You know what I mean? I have the privilege to have some really good boxing mentors that I talk to. Big shout out to those guys, and I just teach what I know, teach what I've been through. You know what I mean? And also what I learned, and I'm constantly learning. You know what I mean? So my goal is to make sure I bring that stuff to you guys. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You know the vibes. I gotta talk to my guy. I gotta talk to my guy. Hold on. Hold on. You know the vibes. Punch drunk, get in here. That link in there. You already know the vibes, baby. Get in here. Come talk to me. Jay-Z, I bought your training vids for my son and myself. Great vids. Thank you. Thank you, brother, for the love and support. Man, I appreciate you guys, man. See, when people buy my videos and they give me testimonials and they say stuff like, yo, it really helped me, man. I get people who say I helped them win their first professional fight, their first amateur fight. And I'm like, it's so unbelievable to me because I never met these people, man. But I get so many testimonials on a day-to-day, man. And anybody who supported me, man, I'm so thankful and grateful for you guys, man. So JC, thank you very much, man. I appreciate you, my brother. Hit and not get hit applies across the board. First woke up and sweat, then grapple. Yeah, I'm sure it doesn't apply all across the board. That's true. But for me, uh, it's like boxing, man. You know what I mean? There's nothing against anything else, though. I respect it all. You'll get fucked up by one of these MMA guys or jiu-jitsu guys or Muay Thai guys. They'll whoop your ass. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that that's necessarily all I'm in it for. I'm more in it for just the art of boxing. Any tips on developing power for my punches? Yeah, man. The heavy bag. One of my favorite tools for developing punching power. You know, throw them punches on the bag like you mean it. Rotate your hips, rip some power. You know what I'm saying? The heavy bag is hands down, in my opinion, one of the best ways to develop punching power. A lot of guys, they want to do all these complicated things. Um, but the truth of the fact of the matter is, I believe in the heavy bag when it comes to punching power. I think that the heavy bag is highly effective in this regard. So get on that heavy bag and make sure that you're punching with good form and technique, completely rotating your body, putting everything into it. And I got a special surprise guest.
What's
Well, my
good?
man, my man, what's going on, man?
Coach Anthony, world renowned trainer.
What's up, man? Talk to me. What's good?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing, man?
Yo, you so what's new, man? What you been doing? I know you've been busy. I haven't even heard from you. That's how I know you busy.
Nah, man, I've been doing the media stuff. Went to the Manny Pacquiao joint. Ugas, that's what like that was like a funeral, man. That was like a funeral home after the fight. Everybody had their head
What do you
down.
mean? Like everybody was sad?
Oh, everybody was sad, man. Everybody was sad. But it was a good.
You
Hey,
know,
it was a good win for Ugas.
it's not like he got beat the hell up.
I know he did pretty. He did pretty
Honestly,
good.
you can argue a draw. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go out there and like make a big debate over it, but you can argue a draw.
No, matter of fact, I had 114, 114, but a swing round given to Ugas 115, 113 was great. Perfect.
That's what I'm saying. Very close fight. So, you know, a lot of people are really sad. I'm not sad. I think that Pacquiao went out relatively in a respectful manner. He
Highly
doesn't want to
respectful.
retire. I could tell he doesn't want to retire,
Nah.
but he needs to retire, in my opinion, before he gets hurt. I think that he
What
kind of just made it through this fight. And there's only so many times you can keep testing the waters before that shit drowns you. You dig what I'm saying?
I think probably because Manny Pacquiao probably the biasness wants to see him again. Wants to see him again because the only reason why I would like to see him again is it was because of the preparation. I mean, he basically had how many he practically had a week to prepare for Ugas. If they found out 11 months, right? I'm not talking about like in shape prepare, but game planning prepare. I could ask you the question at this level, at the elite level, how important is game planning?
Um,
Forget about the conditioning and preparation and your sport. How important is game planning?
I don't know why I'm moving this damn laptop so much. You know what? It is very important. I do believe in game planning, but in boxing, things don't always go as planned, right? So I do think that the game planning part is important, but I think a guy like Manny Pacquiao, with all the years of experience, had he been a little younger, had he been a little bit able to do the things that he were accustomed to seeing him be, you know, Manny Pacquiao reminds me of a unorthodox version of Roy Jones Jr. And the reason I say that is because Roy Jones won a lot of his fights based off athleticism,
Yeah,
based off of the things that he was able to do that the average human was not able to do. Some of the things were
reaction
wrong.
instincts.
Exactly. I feel like Manny Pacquiao is very similar. Manny Pacquiao never impressed me with his punching technique. He never impressed me with his style per se. What he impressed me was with how highly effective he was in fights with that unorthodox style.
Hmm.
So now that we're starting to get older and we're not able to use our feet the same, we're not able to hurt guys the way we were hurting guys. We're not as fast as we used to be. His head isn't moving after he punches at all. I just feel like now I'm starting to see a deteriorated version of Pacquiao. And these younger guys are now seeing what you guys did, and that thirst for blood is only going to increase. And when they do fight Pacquiao, the aura isn't there no more. They're going to go right at him. And we saw what started happening to Jones once we seen Jones going down. We started seeing these younger guys stop respecting him as much, and they went in there and just dismantled Jones once he started to fall apart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think in that last round, especially that last round, 11th round, he just couldn't get away from that right hand. It looks like he wasn't even watching. He wasn't even seeing it coming. And that's Ugas. I mean, Ugas is not known for extreme power. He's not known for speed. And it seemed like Manny Pacquiao was not. He was not flinching. He was not even trying to get out the way. That's
He
why
was
I always
getting,
thought.
and also with the jab, it seemed like he had no answer for the jab. You know what I mean? He used to slip the jab at least. Like now he wasn't even slipping. I never seen Manny Pacquiao really catch a jab.
Yeah.
A way to defend the jab from the opposite stance is to use that lead hand. I didn't see him using the lead hand most of his career. I see him slip over a lot and then sneak in that cross. I see him try it a few times.
He did that I think in the beginning of the fight.
Yeah, he was trying, but the height was an issue. The timing was an issue. Can he can he prepare for you guys a little bit better? Maybe, but at the same time, you guys will have more time to prepare for him. And in contrary, we may see an even a worse outcome in the rematch, I believe.
So even with the experience that he had, you didn't see like a problem that he hasn't faced a southpaw in 13 years, and he was just training for a southpaw throughout his training camp, and maybe that's what you don't think that played a part. Like you was just preparing.
No, because
they said that he was overtraining, so he was preparing. He said on the press conference, his coach Boo Boy, he said he only had one sparring session to prepare for Ugas, and they sparred 30 rounds.
Look,
and he was playing basketball the night before. You think that was also his legs? Like, would you play? I mean, Roy Jones. We talking about Roy Jones. Roy Jones did that. Like, while Manny Pacquiao was playing a full basketball, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Manny Pacquiao should know better than to be playing, and so should his team. I don't know if he just has, he's at a point in his career where he does what he wants, and people around him just have to accept it. But for the most part, Manny Pacquiao, I mean, I wouldn't advise him to play a full court game against a guy that we haven't fought. You know what I mean? Like, you're obviously putting a lot of. You're supposed to rest your body the day before the fight. You want to leave it all in the ring. Once you make weight, the only thing you should be doing is relaxing, eating, rehydrating, spending time with your team, and getting in a mental preparation for a battle. You really shouldn't be playing full court basketball. You know what I mean? But to make a long story short, I believe that Manny Pacquiao, it wasn't that Manny Pacquiao looked like he was having an issue with the opposite stance. It looked more like his body wasn't doing the things he used to be able to do. And what I'm seeing is signs of an aging fighter, that he's only going to be older his next outcome. He's not going to get younger. His body's not going to get faster. He's not going to get stronger. If anything, he's going to deteriorate a little bit more, and then little bit more.
So that freak of nature ain't going to be no more. That freak of nature.
Yeah, I think at this point now,
you think so?
At this point now, it's going to come down to his experience and skill, but I feel like he's never been that kind of fighter. He's never been a skillful. I mean, I don't see him doing a lot of skillful things in the ring. I see him just doing a lot of his success has always been speed, explosiveness, power. Not really necessarily a skillful guy that you could be like, man, that guy is slick. Like, for instance, Pernell Whitaker. Somebody asked me this question: Pernell Whitaker or Manny Pacquiao? If you was training a southpaw, how would you want your southpaw to fight skillfully? And in reality, I'm going to pick Pernell Whitaker every day of the week. But who had the better career, right? The better career goes to Manny Pacquiao, even though Pernell Whitaker has the better skill set.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because his athleticism and natural ability surpassed what Pernell was able to do. But skillful-wise, Pernell Whitaker's up there with Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? He could do so many things that the average fighter wasn't able to do: slip, slide, roll, catch, and he can survive. And as he got older, he was still able to survive. I don't see Manny Pacquiao surviving if he keeps fighting. I see him eventually getting knocked out.
But what about the rematch? If it's Ugas again, you don't think that even with that, you feel like it was a draw as well. So do you think a rematch? You think it's still not smart if it's Ugas? You don't think he could compete with Ugas? I mean, probably with Earl Spence, if a healthy Earl Spence. Then it's.
Can you put your volume up? You're a little low.
You hear me?
Yeah, a little bit better, but it was a little low. A few people's made a comment too.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people said the same shit too.
I ain't gonna lie. I usually do sound a little louder.
Hear me or no?
No, we can hear you. It's just low. It's like
it's still low.
Yeah, a
Low,
little bit.
low, low, low,
Yeah, I mean it's good enough. Don't worry about it. Don't trip.
low. It's good
Yeah,
now.
no, we can hear you, but it's
Better.
just it could just be a little bit higher. Look, right
So I
man,
gotta
right
get
here,
closer
punch
like
drunk,
this.
turn
Let
your
me talk
valve up.
like that. Like that.
There you go. And you laugh, we heard
I'm
you.
good there.
Okay.
Oh,
Um, but yeah, man. I think that Pacquiao may be better in a rematch, maybe, but at the same time, I believe that Ugas might do even better.
yeah.
I think Ugas showed a lot of respect to Manny Pacquiao, and he held back a lot. He didn't want to take chances. I think that he was showing Manny a whole lot of respect. I think that he may be a little bit more aggressive in a rematch and a little bit more confident in a rematch, and he may maybe possibly stop Manny Pacquiao in a rematch. In my opinion.
What you think about the other fight? What you think about Crawford and Porter?
Crawford and Porter is interesting. I like Porter in that fight 3 years ago to be a bigger problem. Now I don't know. I don't know what Sean Porter is going to bring to the table right now. I think it's going to be another situation where you got the older guy who was a hell of a fighter fighting a hungrier, younger guy who has less wear and tear on his body. And I just
Well,
think
Crawford is older.
he's older than Sean.
I think they're around probably the same. I know that Book
Well, in
Crawford is gonna
boxing,
be 34.
well, in boxing years, we're gonna say that Porter is older, right? Because Porter's been in the bigger fights, more fights
Mm,
against the higher
he probably
opposition, right?
the better opposition.
The better opposition. So I'm gonna
He
say
probably
he's
went
got,
more wear and tear, but I think Book got more fights than Porter.
yeah.
I think Book got more fights than
That's a
Porter.
weird situation. I mean, listen, Crawford needs to fight, bro. I mean, when's the last time Crawford fought?
He fought Kell Brook.
That was a while ago, right?
Yeah.
I think that might have been before the pandemic.
No, it was during the pandemic.
Or was during the pandemic? Okay. Well, either way, I haven't seen enough Crawford in the last 3, 4 years. I've seen him maybe 3 times, and he's very inactive for me. But he's
Now,
very
now, skillfully, I say skillfully. Of course, Bud Crawford got an upper hand on Porter, right? But with the experience that you was talking, let's say earlier, the opposition is Porter more ready, experience wise, to face a Bud Crawford more than a Bud Crawford is ready to fight a Sean Porter, because I don't think he's faced anything like Sean Porter. I mean, you
right.
could go vice versa. You could say the same thing. But he did fight Earl Spence. He did fight Keith Thurman. He didn't beat him, but you could say that a lot of it could have gone either way in those fights too.
It's just something about Crawford, man. Crawford's one of those guys. He reminds me of like not skillfully, but mentally, like Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward. He brings like that mental of I will not lose to the
And then
fight.
he and he could and then he they make the
And
timely
he can
adjustments.
punch. And he
Yeah,
can punch. And what
he got that
happens is,
dog.
and Crawford, uh, Porter
Porter.
can be hit.
Yeah.
I mean, we seen Porter get dropped by Adrian Broner in the 12th round. So, I mean, I can see Crawford putting Porter on his ass as well. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? So, if I had to pick who's going to win that fight, I'm going to go with Crawford based off of the youth, the skills, and the power, and the style matchup, and the
Yeah.
style matchup.
What I like about Porter is that he pushes all his opponents to the limit. So he's gonna push. I do think I could predict
3 years
this.
ago, 3 years ago, I think Porter would have presented a bigger problem because I think Porter was a little younger, had a little bit more, pep to his step, and
Hmm.
he would have been inside of Crawford's chest.
Yeah.
Now I just think that he might be a little slowing down based off the time. I mean, I could be wrong, but I
I mean,
think
he
that
fought for Mela during the pandemic as well, and actually, I actually love the way that he boxed.
he was boxing right that
He
fight,
was
right?
boxing like
He actually showcased skills and like
it was
mobility.
clean work. Like it was like finally I saw some clean work from round 1 and round 12.
Yeah,
The only thing was that he went 12.
I don't see him being able to box that way with Crawford though. I think with Crawford, he's gonna have to revert back to his aggressive style. Um, he wants to be as close to Crawford as possible if he fights Crawford. He doesn't want to give Crawford any leverage. If he gives Crawford leverage, he's going to get caught with a shot at the end of his punches. We know that Crawford punches very well from a mid-range. He can knock you out with either hand. He can fight southpaw orthodox. He doesn't want to give him space. He wants to get in his chest and eliminate anything that Crawford's good at. You know what I mean?
Yo, but what's good in your fight with Chad Ochocinco, man? They
Man, that
ducking you,
thing,
son.
man. Listen, man.
That ship sailed.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
I
come
don't think,
on, man. You gotta
I don't
put the
think.
pressure.
Listen. You know, Chad. Look, the truth of the fact of the matter is, I don't think Chad really meant what he said. I think he was trying to be funny for the press and the media that day. Turned out that he was being. It was kind of one of those situations where keeping it real goes wrong, and you step into somebody you don't know who you're stepping to. And listen, he looked good in his little exhibition. I didn't think he looked terrible. I thought he looked okay, but you know, I'm a different guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be as nice as the guy that he was boxing if he, you know, ever got in the ring with me. I'm not gonna be as playful. I'm not gonna be holding back. I'm not gonna be touching gloves if I drop them. You know what I'm saying? The same way this guy did. So, you know, I'm not a hard guy to get a hold of. I reached out to Leonard Ellaby. I posted about it. I spoke to Leonard Ellaby personally. I got an interview asking him. He said he would make it happen. Since then, I haven't heard anything from that team.
Come on, we gotta
I'm,
keep on
I'm
talking
doing
about
my
it.
own thing. I'm not pressed
Nah,
on
man,
anything.
nah. We can't get him off the. We gotta keep the foot on the neck, man. Let's
Yeah.
go, Coach Anthony. Let's go, Coach Anthony. Ocho
Listen,
Cinco, Coach Anthony. Let's make it happen. Get that exhibition money.
listen, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. The people have asked me about that fight every time I've came on this live. It's crazy to me. I'm like, damn, the people still thinking about that shit. You know, I was like,
Of
what, three,
course,
4 months ago? But I'm with it. You know what I mean? I'm with it. You know, why not? You know what I mean? It'd be fun.
let's go. Let's call him out. Let's call him out.
What do you think about this weekend, man? I haven't even heard you speak on the Jake Paul Woodley situation, man. Talk to me, man.
To be honest, man, it's not. I'm not even just thinking about the fight. I'm just thinking about the opportunity that Jake Paul is actually giving these boxers, man. I think he's actually being one of the best promoters of boxing right now. Look at Amanda Serrano. She never get the type of love from any network or any app the way that she's getting this type of love, the exposure. She's about to be Christy Martin's record as the most knockout in women boxing history. She's a 7 division world champion. I think Amanda Serrano should be that Ronda Rousey for women boxing. I mean, like a lot of people complain that there's no knockouts in women boxing and she's knocking everybody out. I think that platform is going to help her out. Is going to gain her the type of exposure she needs to capitalize on getting that type of bag and get Katie Taylor. She get a respectable purse. So I'm happy for that. Danny Dubois, his first fight in America. So I'm more impressed that Jake Paul is actually, you know, at first I thought it was like a circus, right? What he was doing, what the Paul brothers was doing, but they opening some opportunities. Regis Prograis got a good purse, 800,000 in his last fight versus Red Catch. So he's given opportunities, and that's one thing I like about Jake Paul. The Woodley and Jake Paul, I think it's gonna be a tough fight because this guy actually trains, and he's actually like a gym rat.
Who that? You talking about
Jake
Woodley?
Paul, no Jake
What is up?
Paul.
So who do you got winning?
It's a tough one, man.
I can't figure it out.
Me either. It's a
I'm
tough
gonna
one.
be honest. Now, what's crazy is, in theory, we should, as boxing people and fighting people, we should easily be picking Woodley. We should easily be like, yo, Woodley's the fucking fighter. He's been training with boxers for some years. He's knocked plenty of people out in the UFC. Even though he's not a pure boxer, on paper, we should be like easily picking Woodley. But the issue is we don't know what Woodley's gonna bring to the table, and we don't know what fucking Jake Paul's gonna bring to the
True.
table. We do know that Jake Paul has been taking boxing seriously as well.
Am I wrong? You know, I just see that sometimes, um, most of the time the MMA fighters they don't throw them straight punches. They throw them, arm punches, them looping punches. That if a guy that a natural, I'm not gonna say that Jake Paul's a natural boxer, but this is what he does, right? He trains as a boxer, and then he got great coaches around him too. Like he don't play this stuff.
Oh, hold
And
on, Woodley got some people with him right now.
no, right now, but for this fight, but Jake Paul, for you could say for the last 3 years, been training like a boxer, you know. In the TMT gym, it's been going around that he's getting a lot of, he does get the type of respect and his worth ethic and learning the craft. So it's a tough one to pick, bro. It's funny though. It's funny. There's a tough one to pick though.
It's weird. It's a weird fight. Now we do know that Jake Paul has the size advantage,
Yeah,
which plays a factor.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's been purely training for boxing for some time, sparring some good guys. They're saying that he's sparring all, good fighters from the TMT gym. And are those guys holding back? You know what I'm saying? I'm sure they are.
Willie got
But
good footwork too. He got good footwork. That's one thing compared to even other MMA fighters. He does got the footwork and he does got the striking type of style. But I mean, I don't think that we could what's the word? Um, overlook a Jake Paul in this exhibition. That's some crazy that we talking about this like this. Jake Paul, man, ringing bells in boxing.
yeah, well, yeah. I
That's a
mean,
good thing, though. That's a good thing. But
yeah.
what do you see in that fight? Like, what you been talking
I
about
don't
it?
I don't know. I've been watching Woodley hit mitts and train with Pedro Diaz and all them guys, and he looks okay in training, But I don't know. I don't know anything else. You know what I mean?
I think the problem, and I think the people, the frustration that people have with the Paul brothers, I don't even think that people should be frustrated with them. I think that people should be frustrated with the boxers. Like he's giving you the opportunity to actually steal the show. Even with the first one with KSI versus Logan Paul, right? And you had Devin Haney and you had Billy Joe Saunders on the undercard. They should have stole the show, and they didn't. They actually got booed. And then on the Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., Jake Paul stole the show. And then he had his event and he knocked down this dude. What's his name? Askins, I forgot his name. So he's been the highlight, and then he stole the show with Floyd Mayweather by stealing the dude's hat. So he's doing everything. He's stealing everybody's show. He's stealing everybody's promoting show. I mean, everybody was thinking about him more than even his own brother leading up to the Mayweather fight. So
Mhm.
I think that he's doing a good job promoting, and then ain't nobody stealing, ain't nobody like stealing the show or his show.
Right.
So
What you think about the Caleb Plant Canelo fight?
I got Canelo. I think Canelo Alvarez is just working. He's like a well-oiled machine. I think his physical ability and intellect is coexisting at the highest level. I think he's at his peak right now. Um, and it seems like he's getting better. I think he got underrated defense. I like his upper body
You
movement.
think Canelo got underrated defense?
I think if you give Canelo Alvarez and you break him down, I think it's almost like Mike Tyson, right? Like Mike Tyson, they talk about his power, but he had great defense. But that's the last thing you think about. And I think it's the same thing with Canelo Alvarez. I think he doesn't get enough credit for his defense. I think he got great defense, but I don't think
You
he get
think?
enough credit for it.
I think he has very good defense,
Yeah.
without a doubt. Good head movement.
Yeah, but you don't hear it. I mean, they don't give him a lot of props for it. Like that's not what you hear. That's what I mean. Like Mike Tyson had the peekaboo. He made a lot of people. He made a lot of his opponent miss, and I think that also Canelo Alvarez make his opponent miss, and he doesn't waste punches.
Yeah, but we do know that Caleb Plant got a good jab,
You got a good jab,
good footwork.
good
We
footwork.
do know that Canelo has issues with guys that are mobile. He doesn't like you to move around too much. He wants you right in front of him.
Does he have
Um,
trouble, or he just takes a little longer breaking you down?
well, I feel like Canelo, as he's progressed over the years, he's looking to stop guys, and he's willing to give away rounds in order to do that. So if you're a mobile guy and you're touching him a little bit, he'll take his time, put himself in the right position, and then rip a hard hook to the body or feint you and then come with an uppercut or something. You know what I mean? He has like incredible feints. He has incredible placement of his punches. Very, very deceptive. Um, but even when he fought Kovalev, right?
He was getting outboxed with the jab.
Even though I never in that fight thought he was gonna lose. I knew he was gonna eventually stop Kovalev. You seen it coming. But he was actually giving rounds away. It kind of reminds me of Gervonta Davis. When he fought Gervonta Davis, when Gervonta Davis fought his
Leo
last
Santa
two
Cruz
fights,
or Mary
gave
Berry.
away,
Yeah.
gave away a lot of rounds for the stoppage. Now, if he does that with a guy like Caleb Plant is capable of stealing the fight because
Yeah.
he's got good footwork, good defense, also a nice jab. He's naturally 168, so he's not really a smaller guy per se. And he's very technically sound. I think Caleb Plant's getting no credit at all. Like he's just like, you don't have a chance in hell. And don't get me wrong, I can see why people would think that, but skill wise, he brings the things that can frustrate Canelo. He has the skill set that can frustrate Canelo.
Depending what Canelo shows up though, because I also think that the Canelo that people hate, but actually that showed that he's grown as a fighter was the first fight with Triple G. His movement was like, oh, he can move from the outside. He got footwork. Damn, he learned something from that Floyd Mayweather. So, which Canelo's going to show up? The guy that's just going to stay in front of you, or the guy that actually shows you that he could adjust and actually he does got decent footwork? Which Canelo's going to show up, and how is he going to adjust? I
I
just think
think
right.
I can't see Canelo. I can't see Canelo
Moving.
boxing Plant by utilizing a lot of footwork. I don't see that. I see Canelo pressing forward with good head movement, a good jab. How he kind of fought his last few fights, where he's just coming at you nice and controlled, slipping and boom. You know what I'm saying? Coming at you, slipping and boom, coming with those counters. I don't see him playing the back foot. I don't see him doing that against Plant. I see him coming at Plant. You know what I mean?
I could see that too, but then I could also see him if he needs to adjust, that he could adjust, that he's just not this like he just got mud feet, like he used to have when he was younger. So
It's a
I
good
could.
fight. It's an interesting fight. I like this fight.
How can't now? Do you think that Caleb Plant has the ability to adjust?
That's the question.
If Canelo Alvarez starts cutting the ring off later on in the late middle rounds, how can Caleb Plant? The Caleb Plant has the attributes to adjust. Could he
Caleb
want to
Plant,
bang?
Caleb Plant is going to have to tie up a lot. He's going to have to work on tying up. He's going to have to work on his jab. And he's going to have to work on staying very calm when that pressure hits, because that pressure is going to come. And Canelo is a different kind of an animal. You don't want to fold under that pressure when Canelo comes at you. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't know if Caleb is ready mentally for this stage. I know he's been through a lot in his life. I know that he's lost family, and he's a tough guy, and he's a fighter and can never count a fighter out, but he's never fought at this level. And Canelo has fought at this level several times. So that's the big difference in this fight for me. It's just that the levels, you know what I mean? But if Caleb can tie him up, frustrate him, if he can get his shots off, and then when Canelo tries to come in, slide in, smother him, tie him up, reset it, kind of similar to what like Buster Douglas did to Tyson, where it was like Tyson couldn't get his shit off when he wanted to. He can frustrate Canelo and make it a very long night for Canelo too. You know what I mean? It's just that can he handle the power when he gets hit? I don't know.
If Canelo Alvarez beats Caleb Plant, who do you see that could compete with Canelo Alvarez? Like
Just I
maybe
guess the only
Benavidez.
person that is near to him right now that we can look at is the Benavidez kid, right? I mean, that's the one kid who, he's a big guy. Uh, he seems to be able to absorb good punches, and he dishes it out. So somebody like that can probably be another big fight for Canelo. But there's not too many options right now. Canelo kind of cleaned up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
you got Demetrius Andrade, but it looks like they're never gonna give him a shot. You know what I mean? They kind of just brushed him under the rug, like get out of here, payday, get out of here. So it's like
yeah.
I don't think that fight's ever gonna happen. And Demetrius Andrade has only been shelved, goddamn, the best years of his life, unfortunately.
Mhm.
So what can he really do? You know what I'm saying? Even if he did get the chance, you know what I mean? His best years, in my opinion, are behind him too.
Like I said once before, and I know it was a half. People agree, people disagree. I feel like, um, I mean, there's no really mega fight for Canelo Alvarez. I'm not talking about that he can't pack the house himself, but that mega fight where people be like, "Hey, yo, this is gonna be, we know who his opponent is, and he's a star, and he brings that threat that this is like a 50-50 fight. Who's his 50-50 fight? Does he have to jump to 175 to make it a 50-50 fight? Or maybe it is Benavidez. Because I don't think that I really don't think that Charlo's a 50-50 fight. I don't think that Demetrius Andrade. I don't even think the Triple G, 39 years old Triple G. Man, has Canelo Alvarez cleaned it really all the way up?
Yeah, there's really not too much right now for him. I mean, I see Canelo retiring soon. I mean,
Me too. Me
only
too.
because I don't see how much more can he possibly give to the game. Like, he beat Caleb, one or two more, walk off to the sunset with one loss on your record. You know what I'm saying? A draw and call it a day. You know what I'm saying? And your only loss is to arguably the best fighter ever. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's really all I see for Canelo, unless he wants to try to campaign at heavyweight, do something like what Roy Jones did, which is not going to be a good thing because we're not dealing with the same heavyweights that Roy Jones was dealing with back then. The guys that he would have to fight are fucking huge paws. So it's like I don't see him being successful at heavyweight. So he would have to either go to 175, and that's about as far as I can see Canelo going.
So you're a big boxing guy. Where technique is very highly important. I could suspect that you like Rigondeaux. You like Rigondeaux style.
I like things that Rigondeaux does.
You like his
I
last fight?
wouldn't say I like his style based off of his last performance. Somebody asked me that shit earlier. That was very brutal to watch, man. I couldn't watch that shit in enjoyment at all.
Yo, I said ban him from television.
I mean, listen, I hate to say that about a guy like him because he is a highly touted fighter. He's older. He's doing what he feels is best for him to win. So I can't be mad at him on a technical standpoint. But Jesus, like, but his opponent didn't make it any better.
Yeah, casi
His opponent didn't know how to cut the freaker. Just because you follow a guy around the ring,
yeah.
and it seems like you're trusting the action, you're not doing nothing either, my brother. You're just following this guy around the ring, playing ring around the rosy with this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to know how to cut a ring off too and force a fight.
The top rope was countering more than Rigondeaux because he was
missing
the top rope. The top rope was hitting it more than Rigondeaux.
Yeah, I heard that the total punches in the whole fight was like 40, 30,
like 40, 44, I think it was.
So I mean, what does that average in 12 rounds, man? That's what 4 punches per round.
That's crazy. So when somebody says, hit and not get hit is a sweet science, I do think, man, for real. And again, and I get critique also for this when I'm like, I just think that it's just more elements. I think it's a science, right? Boxing is a science. It's just, but if you look at a science book, there's more elements in science. The hit and not get hit, but okay, the hit and not get hit, but there's a science with Chocolatito. There's a science with Julio Cesar Chavez style. There's a science with Pernell Whitaker. There's a science with Muhammad Ali. So what would you say, like, if let's say a guy like a Rigondeaux fan be like, well, that's the sweet science. It's hit and not get hit. Is that your definition of the sweet science, what you saw? Or do you have a different definition of it? I felt like that was.
I feel like this is a complex. I feel like this is a complex question because I have two views on it. First view I have on it is it's not my preference. What I saw from Rigondeaux is not my preference. I'm not teaching a guy to retreat and literally steal a punch and keep retreating to win a fight. That's not what I'm teaching. But on the flip side, to be a devil's advocate, if that's what I'm fighting against, I got to beat it. You see what I'm saying? Like, for instance, when we saw Mayorga fight, when we saw Maidana fight, these guys, very aggressive, ugly punches, ugly based off of technique. We can't appreciate the technique, but we can appreciate the effort. You have to figure that style out. Whether you like it or not, you have to beat it. When Mayorga beat Vernon Forrest 2 times for the middleweight championship of the world, at the end of the day, he beat Vernon Forrest 2 times. Rest in peace, Vernon Forrest. But Vernon Forrest couldn't beat him.
Yeah.
So the problem is, if you're a boxer, me and you are boxing, and you have your own style, and it's corny, like the whole fucking world hates it, but I can't beat it, I still lost. So the sweet science is who can impose their style based off the rules of boxing without breaking any rules, who can impose their style and win. So in reality, it was the sweet science if you want to get technical. But as far as a fan, as far as somebody who's a coach, I'm not teaching a guy to box that way. I want my guy to engage. I want my guy to stop, not necessarily have to stop a guy, but I want him to put punches together. I have more of an active offensive style than what Rigondeaux displayed. Rigondeaux basically showed me he was purely looking for survival.
Yeah.
And based off of his age and at this point in his career, maybe he has his own legitimate reasons for it, but it's not fun to watch. But it is still boxing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because to me, I feel like it's hit and not get hit, not get hit. That's it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta hit and not get hit. I feel like that's, man. If you got that, that should be the sweet science. Well, depending.
Oh yeah, no, you're absolutely right as far as this thing, but the truth of the fact of the game, it's like you ever played a video game where you're like, I play Fight Night. I like to play Fight Night, video game. And I bump into these kids online that are cheesy as hell. Like they just be running and running and running, and I'm chasing them, and I'm losing every round, and I'm getting so mad. But at the end of the day, I can call them cheesy. I can say whatever. I still lost. Until you figure out how to beat something, the problem is you can't say nothing until you beat it. Now, if you were running, and I'm chasing you down, I knock your ass out. I'm like, that's the fuck you get for running, you bum. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But this guy couldn't do it. This guy that he fought, he couldn't do it. So he was no better. Like, who taught you how to cut the ring off? Because you don't know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how much power he got. He didn't know how to, put it together against a guy who moved excessively. And unfortunately, that's still in the rules. You can do what Rigondeaux did in the rule. There's no rule that says you can't do that. So,
yeah, true.
What can we say? You feel what I'm saying?
Abandoned from TV. Yo, what you think about Usyk and AJ?
I like AJ. But Usyk, he's a southpaw, shorter. And I notice when shorter southpaws fight taller orthodox fighters, a lot of shorter southpaws have a lot of success. Just something about how the body's positioned from the southpaw stance and the fact that they got the experience against right-handed fighters, they seem to always figure out a way to make it very difficult for. So AJ is probably going to have a lot of problems in this fight, but I'm still going to pick AJ. I think that AJ is a better fighter out the two. I don't think Usyk is good. Yeah, I think Usyk is okay. I'm not. I've never been super impressed by Usyk. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are. I'm not. I mean, I feel like he looked. He barely got out of his last fight against the one heavyweight that he fought. What's that kid's name?
Chisora, right?
I thought Chisora was doing really good in that fight. I mean, I was looking at the fight like, yo, this guy doesn't look all that great to me. So Anthony Joshua should be able to win this fight, but he will have some issues with that short southpaw style. And, if he starts getting picked, if that southpaw starts to pick and lean over and touch and pick and stab to that body, he might be able to steal the fight. I don't know.
What you think about because I like AJ, and what I think what I feel that he's gonna be Usyk is if he could implement that style that he fought Povetkin in. I think a lot of people feel like he's stiff, that he don't got movement. But if you look at that fight we had Povetkin years ago, he could move. He was touching the jab to the body, the over right. He was throwing those combinations. I think if you see that type of AJ, that kind of finesse, but with power AJ, I think that he's gonna be Usyk, in my opinion.
You got Usyk, so you got AJ winning.
I got AJ winning, yeah. But I just don't want him to just stand there still. You know what I'm saying? I want him to move and be agile. I think he has the attributes to do that if he wants to. I don't think he's that stiff like a lot of people feel like he's a robot or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good fight. Interesting. But I just don't know. Like AJ's gonna have to stay on his jab, and he's gonna have to keep his distance. He's gonna have to fight very similar to how he fought in the rematch against Andy Ruiz to beat Usyk. He can't get too close to Usyk. He's got to keep that distance, or else he's gonna start to get. If he starts to overcommit, and he's gonna start getting countered to the body with some weird shit, he's not gonna see the shots coming. You know what I mean? So because everything's coming from a different angle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I heard you've been watching Deontay Wilder's pad work, and I heard that you feel like Deontay Wilder is gonna bring some great skills and beat Tyson Fury in the trilogy. Is that right?
I said that.
Yeah, yeah. I heard that you said that he's bringing some good. He has some good pad work. He got great movement. That he's gonna beat Tyson Fury. Is that your take, or that was just some? It was a fake Coach Anthony or something like that.
Man, first and foremost, big shout out to Malik Scott. That's my guy. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of respect for Malik Scott. He's the guy working with Wilder in this fight. I see him teaching Wilder some good stuff on the mitts. Um, if he can get it if he can get it to translate over to the fight, then we might have an interesting fight. You know what I mean? But the hardest thing is, can you get a guy to do the stuff you're teaching him to do? This is the thing. Trainers are in a funny position because we either get too much credit or not enough credit. You know what I'm saying? Trainers, there's no in between with trainers. Either we're getting overpraised for our work or we're getting underpraised because, you know, how much can you really get a guy to do something in a short amount of time? So let's just say he teaches him this stuff, but when it's fight time, Wilder reverts back to just launching big right hands and he's not setting it up off his jab and he's not doing these feints and all these things that he's being taught. Now, oh, well, he got rid of his original trainer. He got this Malik Scott. Malik Scott's not a real trainer. What does he know? He's a fighter, not a trainer, blah, 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 blah. And then it looks bad on both of them. Or if he doesn't go ahead and he pulls something off, now Malik Scott is the next best thing since sliced bread. So it's like, you know, it's just trainers are in a funny position. I think that Wilder has the capability to knock Tyson Fury out. He's proven that already. He basically knocked him out, and luckily the referee didn't call it a knockout and let him get up. You know what I mean? So we know that the power's there, but skillfully, Tyson Fury is light years better than Deontay Wilder, and he's also much heavier than Deontay Wilder, and he proved that he could be aggressive with Deontay Wilder. And I think he took a lot of I think he took a lot of Deontay Wilder in their last fight, and I just don't know if Deontay Wilder can come back from that. But it seems, what's going on? Fights are getting postponed, and this and that and the other. And what's going on with that fight? Is that fight
It's gonna happen in October 9th. It's happening October 9th in Las Vegas. Um, I do think that I do think that he does get a lot of bad rap. I know a lot of people is frustrated about the allegations and quote unquote the excuses and the glove game, all that stuff. But just speaking on the technical side, I do think that naturally, and I know there's a difference between being athletic in the ring and just being athletic outside the ring, like in the track and field, whatever, in the basketball court. Because Tyson Fury, he knows how to move in that ring. I do think that Deontay Wilder could use more of his athleticism in that ring. I do think that he could do that. I do think that he could work the body even more, not trying to just go head hunting. I think he could work. I think he could work himself from the bot, from the midsection into the head instead of just working his way from, just head hunting. So I do think he got a chance. He got to punch his. He got to punch his chance. I won't be surprised if he knocks him out, but knowing that Tyson Fury had his way outboxing him out in the first fight, out slugging him in the second fight, it's hard for me to see where Deontay Wilder is going to adjust, you know, efficiently, So I do think in my opinion, if he does, is use that body. He's big. The body is there. If he moves around, then go to the body. Stop falling for the feints. And I think that's what set everything up anyway in the second fight was those feints.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be hard to beat Tyson Fury, man. But Tyson Fury's been dropped a few times. We do know that he can be clipped.
He could be chinny.
Yeah, so when you're fighting a guy like Wilder, man, you can never count him out completely. But if I had to bet the house on it, the safe bet is Tyson Fury. The safe bet, based off what we know, based off the data that we have. They fought 2 times, And I believe that Tyson Fury won almost every single round they fought, except for maybe 2 rounds. The 2 rounds he got dropped in.
Yeah.
I think he got dropped twice in that fight, right? The first fight.
Yep.
So the 2 rounds he got dropped in were the only 2 rounds I had Deontay Wilder win in the first fight. I didn't have Deontay Wilder win any rounds in the second fight. So out of what,
18
16,
rounds.
17 rounds, I gave Deontay Wilder 2 rounds. So based off the data, I got to go with Tyson Fury off the data. But based off that same data, we got to remember that Tyson Fury did damn near clear him with one fucking punch.
Yeah.
Late in the fight. Well, in the 12th round, which showed that the power carries all the way to the last second of the fight with with Deontay Wilder. It could be, it could be 12 rounds with 30 seconds left, and he still can knock you out. You know what I mean?
What you think if he wins? You think it'll be a real? I mean, of course, it'll be a big win for Deontay Wilder. But what does that say? Like,
That
if he
says
beats
that,
Tyson Fury.
I think that it just says that.
Who you going for though?
Huh?
Who you going for?
I'm going for a good fight. I don't care who wins.
No, I keep it. I'm going for Wilder, but I'm going for Wilder, but I don't know.
I don't know either man like that. I don't know either man personally, so I don't really care who wins. Stylistically, I'm gonna go ahead and say I like Tyson Fury's style better. I like how he fights better. I have to appreciate his style better, but it's always nice to see an American heavyweight as an American win. You know what I'm saying? I do like to root for my own, but at the end of the day, I don't do that no more. I like to root for just a good fight, and I like the skills of the fighter. And personally, I like the skills of Tyson Fury better than the skills of Deontay Wilder. Yeah. So, I probably lean toward Fury, but not because I like him better than Wilder in any way. Just I appreciate the stuff he does in the ring more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I like knockouts, and I like Wilder. I just don't like what the things.
You know what's crazy? I like Wilder when I met him. And he was actually a cool dude, man. I was actually pretty surprised on how cool of a dude he was. I was like, damn, this dude is alright. Like, he's not like, you feel me? He's not
stuck up.
Yeah, like I thought he would be different, and he turned out to be actually a really cool dude. So I mean, I'm sure he's a nice guy. You know what I mean? Just he has a persona. He has a persona of whatever you want to look at him as, but I know a few fighters like that are nothing like their persona. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you. He does got way more skills, but I don't know. I'm just rooting for Wilder.
Not a bad. Hey, man, nothing wrong with that.
Who else we got, man? Who else we got?
That's all I could think of, man. I mean, I don't know.
Lightweight division. I think that was that. I mean, they still haven't been moving around the lightweight division. Ryan with the mental illness. Devin Haney still trying to fight a mandatory. You got Teofimo Lopez, George Cambosa, New York City, October 5th. Who else? You got Jamal. What you think about Jamal Herring and Shakur Stevenson?
It's a good fight. Almost forgot about that fight.
It's a good fight.
It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to beat Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson has that style that he's kind of like he's like a Rigondeaux, but without being a Rigondeaux. Like he's
I mean, it was boring, but it wasn't Rigondeaux. It was
like, but he's similar. He's gonna do whatever it takes to win, no matter what you think. No matter if you're enjoying it, if you're not enjoying it, he does not care. His goal is win the damn fight, and guys like that are hard to beat, man. Guys like that are hard to beat. Now, Jamal Herring, he's a good fighter, but I just think that Shakur Stevenson is just a little bit sharper. But even though I wasn't impressed with his last performance at all.
Was you impressed with Virgil Ortiz versus the Mean Machine?
Virgil Ortiz, his last fight?
Yeah.
When he fought the black dude from Houston?
Nah. He fought the Mean Machine. What was it, like 3 weeks ago?
I didn't see it.
Oh, go watch it. Man, that kid is.
You think Virgil Ortiz could beat Boots?
That's the fight. That's my fight. I've been calling for that, but
who you got?
Future, it's tough, man. That's a 50-50. I mean, the style was beautiful. I think that Boots got everything in the books. He could switch. He got the size, the jab, the combination punches, placement punches, power, reflex, defense. He got it all. I think that Boots Ennis is not a guy that I need, or I need him to face this guy and this guy to see that he's ready for an elite. No, I think his skill set's ready for an elite. I don't give it. I don't need it. It's like that's the fighter that doesn't need to wait and fight. In my opinion, Virgil Ortiz, I think he's I think he's special as well. You know, I think that um he just he's just thorough, man. I love his hooks. I think he got one of the best. I think he got one of the best hooks in the game. He got a stiff jab. I think it's a good matchup. I think it'll be explosive matchup.
Yeah,
I
that,
think
that
so.
that fight. I think those guys match up really nice, man.
Yeah, it's not just that it's that the styles is gonna mesh real good. I think like both of them gonna
And the
go.
thing about Boots, even though he's a slick guy, he ain't scared to get in there and mix it up.
Yeah,
So he's gonna get in the pocket with Virgil, and that's when we're gonna find out what either one of those guys are made of. You know what I'm saying?
damn, that's a
Because
good fight.
I wish that fight would happen. I think I would prefer to see that fight over Boots versus like a Terrence Crawford or a Spence or any of those guys. I would like to see Virgil, Ortiz, and Boots fight it out. Winner of that, go ahead and fight one of those top guys. You know what I'm
You think
saying?
they would do that?
Probably not, but it would make the most sense, from a boxing fan standpoint. Like, let's let the two lions, young lions, fight it out for who wants to go to the elite level. You know what I'm saying?
What you think about Rolly Romero?
That dude, man. I mean, he's one of those guys where I'm done betting against him, man. You know what I mean? Like, he proved to me that even though he's ugly with his style,
Mm,
he's a tough, strong competitor,
yeah.
and his awkwardness plays to his advantage.
Mm,
And he's like another Mayorga. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just base him off of what you see. You have to base it off everything. He brings so many things to the table that you can't count him out. He looks like he hits hard.
yeah, he
I mean,
does.
he fought Avery Sparrow from here in the Philadelphia area and beat the hell out of him. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Avery Sparrow is known to be a decent boxer. You know what I'm saying? Above average boxer, good amateur pedigree. And he just beat him up. Like, it was like easy. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
thought Avery would beat Romero. Honestly, I was
He
like,
got
man,
that chip. He got that chip on the shoulder. Like
yeah,
even when I saw him on fight week, he was just on. He was in the zone. He was in the zone. He just got that chip on the shoulder, right? Um, I do think his style meshes with guys that are the pure boxers too. You know.
yeah, because he's throwing punches from areas that you don't expect them to come from. Boxers train for a specific thing, and then all of a sudden now the punches are coming from way over the top, and this guy is strong and he's throwing you on the floor when you guys are clinching, and he's not gonna make it like it's not gonna go as planned with him. You can't game plan for Romero. You got to just be in shape, be a hell of a fighter, and deal with whatever happens when it happens. You know what I mean? Because you don't know what's gonna happen with that guy. You don't know what he's gonna do.
Facts.
So he's
Facts.
a hard guy to game plan against. You just have to be prepared to fight. You know what I mean?
What about your boy from Philadelphia, man? There's gonna be a good fight. Brandon Figueroa with Stephen Fulton.
I don't know much about Figueroa. I know Fulton. I've worked with Fulton in the past. I was very impressed with his punch output in his last fight. It was
Angelo Leo,
incredible.
right? He
That was
beat him in his
incredible.
own style.
What he was able to, how many punches he was able to throw. That was incredible.
And that's what I mean about. See, that was like when I did the live commentary to that fight. Like that was like a sweet science. Like he was right there, but not getting hit flush. You know, he was catching the punches with his elbow, catching the punches, and it was like he was fighting the inside fight throughout the whole fight. You know, it was kind of, and everybody thought that he was going to be on the outside, trying to box on the outside versus Angelo Leo. He did an awesome job in my opinion.
Nah, man, he looked really good. I don't know much about this Figueroa kid. What can you tell me about him?
Um, I think he's not as disciplined as he should. In the beginning he'll start off, and I just don't think he uses his jab with his height. He don't use he don't use the natural ability. You know what I mean? He beat Lewis and Eddie, but I just feel like he makes it harder than what he should.
Is he
You know?
taller? Is he taller
Yeah,
than Stephen Fulton?
yeah. But I seen him in fights where he's just brawling. He'll start off probably in the beginning and charge jabs, and then he just end up fighting. And I just think that Stephen Fulton is going to beat him like that. I think he's too
I
small
just
for him,
think
and he
right
could
now
adjust.
Stephen Fulton's super hungry.
Hmm.
Um, and his last performance showed that. And I think that he wants to live up to what's going on in Philadelphia right now. You know what I mean? We got a lot of guys in Philly right now that are coming up. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And Boots being like the heart of the city right now. Everybody in Philly wants to train around Jerome Boots Ennis
Oh
right now.
yeah, it's like that.
Yeah, everybody's going to that gym. Everybody is trying to hook up with Bozy Ennis. Big shout out to him and
Yeah, man.
all them guys over there. And with good reason, right? They're producing at the moment. You know what I mean? Whenever there's a team that's producing, everybody flocks to that team for the time being. And
Yeah,
right
it's like
now,
the Guerreros and the
yeah, everybody. So
Cali.
right now, Boots be in the heart of the city, and you got a guy like Stephen Fulton who basically trains in that vicinity. I don't know who he's working with as far as his trainers. He's seen to switch up trainers a few times, but he's in that little circle. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Hmm.
So the more he sees Boots elevate, he's gonna want to elevate because he's like, I gotta keep up with what's going on right now in my city. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're gonna see a lot of great things from Stephen Fulton also because he's got something to fight for. You know what I mean? He has, you know, uh, like a legacy, but like a lineage, a Philadelphia lineage, right? That's the right way to say it.
Lineage.
Yeah, like he's
Lineage.
trying to live up to that right now. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to keep that going, that tradition going, and that's what I see.
Are you trying to keep it going too as a trainer in Philly? Are you trying to keep that going too?
I'm like a hybrid, bro. I said hybrid. I think I keep saying that wrong. Is it hybrid, brid? I'm like a
Hybrid,
hybrid.
hybrid, hybrid.
I'm like a hybrid because I'm from New York City.
Hmm.
I learned my craft originally in Florida for boxing. And
Okay.
then I came up to the greater Philadelphia area, which is New Jersey, Philadelphia. And that's when I started working with, the Hank Lundys and the Tevin Farmers and the Eddie Chambers and Brian Jennings and Stephen Fulton and Eric Hunter and all these good guys from Philadelphia. And most of the top guys in Philadelphia, I've either worked with them at some point. Um, so a lot of guys consider me a Philadelphia guy, but I'm not really a Philadelphia
Yeah.
guy. I'm just in the Philadelphia vicinity. You know what I'm saying?
So you're the East
So for
Coast, just
yeah,
East
so
Coast.
for me, I'm more of like I'm constantly learning. I wouldn't just call myself a Philadelphia trainer. Now, big shout out to Philadelphia. You know, I
Hmm.
mean, great trainers, great fighters, but I'm more of like a guy with a mix and a blend, my own little formula, my own little thing. You know what I mean? But do I want to keep living up to it? Absolutely. It's just right now, it's just the way things are right now. I have to find the right guy that I really want to invest that much time into, the right situation, the right gym. And, I had like 8 amateurs and they were all doing very well. I don't train none of them anymore. I got, Tevin Farmer and all these other guys that I was working with, but Tevin's not getting no fights at the moment. And he's, got his own thing going on. I got my own thing going on. So, right now I'm just kind of in that limbo stage, but I'm still
Come on,
young.
man. Y'all made everybody out there in the sport of boxing. This is Coach Anthony. What the hell was
Listen,
wrong with
listen,
y'all?
yeah. But listen, Punch. I'm turning guys down. Don't think that I'm not getting offers. I'm turning guys down. I had a few guys who wanted to work with me. I'm not going to say their names based off of respect, but that I respectfully told no, thank you. And these guys were fighting on television and all of that. So,
Reasons?
huh?
Can you give reasons?
The reason is because the time that has to get put into these guys I wasn't willing to invest. So what I don't want to do is lead guys the wrong way. And I'm not the type of trainer that's in the game to put my towel over my shoulder and stand behind a fighter just to say I'm doing it. That's
Hmm.
not what I'm in the game for. I'm in the game to produce. And if I'm not feeling like I can produce with that particular athlete, I'm not going to waste my time with him. I'm not going to waste his time, and I'm damn sure not going to let him waste my time. I think one thing we learned in COVID is we ain't out here to waste no time.
Yeah.
Everything that we do now has to be productive. And a lot of trainers are just working with fighters just to say they work with fighters. That, oh, yeah, I train so and so, so and so, and so and so. But there's no real goal. There's no real, it's just you think just because you got a pro, now you're a pro trainer. Now, I'm in this to really do this or I'm not doing it at all. There's no 1 foot in, 1 foot out with me. You know what I'm saying? So right now, I'm focusing on Coach Anthony, the courses, the YouTube, the lives. I'm chilling right now, and I like this. But I still love teaching boxing. I love teaching fighters. And I just need the right situation. You know what I'm saying?
How about female boxing? What do you think about female boxing? What do you think about the females?
I think boxing is a universal thing. I think that female boxing is great. I think that I love to see. Big shout out to my homegirl Christina Cruz. You know what I'm saying? She just went pro. I'm so happy for her. She's
Yes,
what,
tread on that
36 or 37 years old. I told her to go pro. Freaking
38. I know she wasted like what, like
I
she's
told
been
her to go
amateur like
pro. I
what,
told her to go pro.
13 years, maybe.
Yeah, I told her to go pro when I first met her. Like, yo, let's just go pro. But she had these Olympic goals and dreams. And listen, I can't be mad at somebody who chased their dreams. But I'm so happy for her, and I like to see her win a world title, even at her later age of her life. But I think she's capable. And also, you have other female talents out there that are very good. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I love female boxing. You know what I mean? I worked with a female boxer that I actually took to be #1 in the country for many years as a JO, youth boxer, Natalie Dove. And right now, I think she's probably ranked 1 or 2 as a elite. I don't train her at the moment or, currently, but worked with her since she was 14 years old. And she's, 18 years old now. And so I'm very familiar with female boxing. You know what I mean? I respect females that do this. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, boxing is universal, man. It's for everybody. It's for people who want to fight. It's for people who don't want to fight. It's for females. It's for males. It's for everybody. For children. It's for guys in their 60s. Boxing isn't just about, a man who's 20 years old. You think what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just see the evolution in the skill set of women, and is really coming up. I think this is I think women boxing is at its peak. In my opinion, right now it's like I'm loving it. I'm loving the professional.
Yeah,
boxing.
man. I mean, I think boxing's at a peak. Listen.
Skill
Right
set,
now,
yeah, and stacked up division. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like listen, you got a lot of talented guys right now. And you got a lot of guys who aren't even boxers who want to be boxers now. I mean, you got TikTokers and YouTubers that are boxing now. Boxing is popping. If you're not watching boxing right now, if you're not a boxing fan right now, you're missing out on the whole culture. Like boxing is a culture right now for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like when there's a big fight, look, a lot of us are spending a lot of time in the house now. Like this is the most I've ever spent in the house probably in 10 years. In the last 2 years, I haven't spent more time in the house than I am now. And when there's a big fight on the weekend, there's something to do. It's like, okay, yo, what's good? What's the fight? All right, bet. I'm gonna turn on.
So wifey happy, not a lot of arguments. I get it. I feel it.
I mean, boxing is popping. It gives us something to do, and we already love boxing as it is. So that's why I'm not against
every week. That's
why I'm not against the Jake Pauls and the YouTubers and all of that. Like, yo, bring them in. Now, let's just understand the separation of what it really is. Like you got guys who they get it all misconstrued. Like, oh man, these YouTubers, man, they're ruining the game. They're not ruining the game. They're adding to the game.
Yeah, I think
the game is still the game.
I used to think that though, but now
but the game is still the game. Like, yo, like listen, Canelo's still fighting Plant. AJ's still fighting Usyk. It's not like we're eliminating the fights. All we're doing is adding something. These guys are fighting on a Sunday. Like, what would we normally be doing on a Sunday? Getting ready for Monday. This Sunday, we get to watch a fight.
And Teofimo Lopez fighting on a Tuesday.
Yeah, so like we got something to do. We got something to talk about, something different.
Since you're in New York, you could say you could also say, because I was also debating this. They'd be like, oh, Teofimo fighting on a Tuesday, man. In New York City, Tuesday is a good club night. It's a good club night in Meatpacking. What you talking about, man? This is a city that never sleeps. A Tuesday is good. That Dipset, that first card was on a Tuesday.
Let me tell you something. I was so mad I didn't go to that. The Dipset versus the Locks. Yo, I'm like, I didn't realize how soon it was, and I didn't even realize it was in New York after the Christina Cruz fight. Yeah. But one, Christina Cruz is the homie. I would have showed up and supported her. Number two, my man Eric Kelly was in there. Me and Eric Kelly, we done turned up and flipped parties upside down after the fights, man. Me and Eric Kelly got so much history together. Big shout out to Eric Kelly.
Michael Hunter had a good knockout.
Michael Hunter's my man, you know what I'm saying? That's my homeboy. So I should have been there.
I
I
know.
should have been there.
I was.
I forgot that this shit was going on. And Dipset and the Locks are two of my favorite rap groups all the time. Like, what am I doing in the house right now? I was so mad. It's like, what am I doing in the house? I'm tripping right now.
You thought it was gonna be in a Saturday?
I just didn't, I wasn't keeping up with it. Like, people kept saying, who you think gonna win the lips? And I was like, yeah. I didn't. I'm like, oh shit, it's today. Then I'm like, oh shit, it's in New York. And then I'm like, oh shit, it's on the freaking the same day as the fight at the Garden. I'm like, what the hell? I ain't been paying attention. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kind of like hearing about it one ear out the other. And then when I actually saw it in front of me, I'm like, I'm bugging, bro. I was supposed to be there for that.
I hope they pick somebody to. I don't know. Maybe they're gonna pick Busta Rhymes, man. I hope they pick Busta Rhymes to battle somebody versus New York City. Busta Rhymes with who? Who you think? LO maybe.
Busta Rhymes?
I'm saying Teofimo Lopez gonna be, Trill. They gonna be fighting Cambosos, New York City, on October 5th on a Tuesday. So I'm figuring they're gonna add the verses as well. Imagine they added, probably bring some Busta Rhymes versus It got to be some New Yorkers, right? So probably I hope
Which would
so.
be fun. I mean, Busta Rhymes. I like to see Busta Rhymes battle what's the boy's name? T.I., right? Wasn't him and T.I. going back and forth
That could
on
be
the
good, New
internet?
York City. That could be good.
Yeah, like go ahead, duke it out now. You guys got a chance to do it. You know what I'm saying? Busta Rhymes and T.I., but T.I. would never.
Nah.
He ain't gonna come to New York for that. He
Nah,
know better than
he can't do that,
that.
Buster.
He not gonna,
You gotta be on some. You gotta be on a whole
yeah,
nother level with Buster.
listen. I know Busta Rhymes, man, and that's a different dude outside of hip hop, man. He's gonna, T.I.'s not gonna put himself in that predicament.
Nah,
He gonna stay away from that. He gonna just keep it on the internet.
man.
A big shout out to T.I. and Busta Rhymes, though. You know what I mean? Big shout out to those guys. But yeah, man. A lot of good stuff going on right now, man. There's a lot of good stuff, man. I'm excited about boxing, man. So I might be in New York for that one, though.
Nah, I'm already in New York, so I don't gotta travel.
You already got your credentials. You ready to go?
Nah, I don't yet. I don't yet. I mean, it got postponed, and I did have credentials for that. I did have credentials for that Miami trip when it was gonna be in Miami. I don't know if you keep the same credentials for this new event, but hell yeah, I want to go to that. I want to go to that joint. I want to go, man. I've been traveling to Houston. I did the Miami. Went to the Pacquiao. I hopefully would like to go to the Fury and Wilder or the Canelo one plant. That would be good.
I want to do the Canelo implant.
There's a lot of fights, man. And in October, they're doing Chocolatito Estrada 3. Boxing is great right now, man. Boxing is good.
So with you, man, you still training? I ain't seen you post no heavy bag videos in a minute, man. Like, what's going on?
Man.
Come on, man. You gotta stay sharp, man. They gonna call you out soon, man. They gonna be like,
I want them to call me out.
You was talking that shit, nigga. Just go.
I want them to call me out. I want them to call me out. But I want them to call me. I'm waiting on that. Maybe I need that motivation. But yeah, man. It's just that, covering boxing, you got to do everything. It's like what you're doing. You got to do the YouTube, you're doing the courses, you're doing all that stuff. It's the same thing. Got to do the website, got to do the podcast, got to do the YouTube content, lives. It's actually work, but it's fun work though. It's fun work.
Nah, we can't ask for nothing better than this,
that
man.
Filipino crowd is amazing, bro.
Right.
They know how to support their fighter, man.
Right. But yeah, bro. All right, I've been on here for almost 2 hours. You gonna do your live or what you doing tonight? Cause I know we'll get off of here and I'll go in my bedroom.
I did live
you be on there cursing everybody out. You put your shades on and that's it, man. It's time to go to work.
I gotta slow it down, man. I gotta clean it up. You already know, man. It's a Christian show, so yeah, man. I gotta clean it up. But yeah, I already did live earlier today.
Oh, you did already. All right, cool. Yeah,
subscribe to the channel. Punch Wrong Boxing.
Yeah, make sure put your stuff in the chat, man. I'm probably gonna come back on here on Sunday after the fight and talk about the post fight after this fight this Sunday and see what the people think about that, man.
Oh yeah. Hold on, let me put that up.
Eddie Espinoza, man, I appreciate you, Chew, for pulling up, man. Thank you for everybody who pulled up. Guys, man, if you guys don't got a course, go to the website, pick up a course, man. Use the discount code. Okay, you got a few more minutes to get 60% off, and then after that, it's done. And then you can still get the 50% off, but why not get 60% off? And very soon, that 50% off about to be a dub. I'm about to pull that out also. So just something to think about, guys. And we got some new stuff coming real soon. Go ahead, you put that in there, Punch.
I think I did. How was the boxing when I first saw you on there? How was the boxing voice first saw you on there? Yeah, the boxing. Shout out to the boxing voice too. You haven't been a guest on the boxing voice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been on there a couple of times, man. He's a cool guy.
Yeah. Nice. He's around your way, right? Jersey. He used to be around.
He's in Florida now.
He's in
He
Florida.
moved to Tampa.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think he moved to Tampa, man. But all right, man, I'm about to get out of here, Punch Drunk. I'm out.
All right, brother.
You already know the vibes. Thank you for pulling up, man.
All right, man. Take care. God bless, man.
You too, my guy. My man Punch pulled up, man, guys. I'm about to get out of here, though. But I want to say thank you to everybody who came, man. It's 3:26 in the morning here on the East Coast, man. Make sure you guys follow my boy, man, Punch Drunk Boxing on YouTube, Instagram, all of that, man. Always talking boxing. He does lives a lot more than me. So if you guys want to keep up with the boxing news, he's the guy. You know me, man. I like to do Q&As and come talk about boxing here and there. But thank you guys so much, man. Grab a course, man. Get 60% off. And I'll probably be back here on Sunday night late again because we got to talk about the Woodley Jake Paul outcome. If I don't pull up Sunday night, it'll be Monday. But I'm going to try to pull up on Sunday. Come talking to you guys. And like I said, be on the lookout. We're about to do a lot of new stuff. This is going to be the calm before the storm, guys. We've been chilling over here at Coach Anthony Boxing, but we're about to turn it up. So make sure you guys stay tuned because I want you guys to be able to be part of all this, man. And you already know.
You're getting like a 10-for-1 right now. This is boxing. This is the beauty of the sport. This is what makes you a pugilist, okay? Oh, beautiful. Keep it flowing. Everybody wants to know how to box a southpaw. Everybody who's a southpaw wants to learn how to box the opposite stance. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna give away all the secrets. We're gonna teach you so many great things, man. And luckily, we got a guy right here who can box both stands, orthodox and southpaw, and fast in the chambers. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna learn a lot. You guys made a very wise decision. So let's not waste no time. Let's get right into it.